Hey friends, this is Dr. Barnes, and I'm here to go through the syllabus for the class you're taking at U of L this summer, Sustainable Action Workshop, which is an online class, sustainability themed. There are four sections of this: PADM 68350, PLAN 38050, PLAN 68050, and UPA 68050. So, you're in one of those sections. If you're watching this video, I assume, please note there is already an introductory video about me that's linked on Blackboard, and so this isn't about me. This is about the syllabus. So the class is online. It goes from June 5th, so it started yesterday, to August 8th. I am Dr. Barnes, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. If you want to share your pronouns with me, I invite you to do that. I'm happy to discuss any related issues with you. My email address on the syllabus, you can get me anytime, brian.barnes, that's Brian with an I, Barnes, that's how you spell my name, at louisville.edu. You can also call me, 502-338-1338. You can text me. I kind of prefer text messages, but that's up to you. If you're going to text me, please tell me that you're in the U of L Sustainable Action Workshop, because I'm teaching this class online elsewhere at the same time, and so I don't want to get you confused with somebody else. There are slightly different requirements for the classes at different universities. So anyway, in this class, what I'm going to be asking you to do is to use different kinds of media about sustainability from experts in sustainability primarily, and practitioners, experts or not, in order to come up with your own sustainability definition that you then use as the foundation for some projects that you will create, hopefully, which are related to your discipline. I often say discipline, related to your discipline. What I mean by that is your academic discipline. So I assume that you are working on a major or a graduate degree. I'm calling those your disciplines. If you have some other discipline, maybe you have a work-related discipline, or you have some area of expertise that you developed on your own or in a transdisciplinary way, then you should feel free to pursue that. Sustainability is necessarily multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. And I expect that your work will reflect that. So while I do expect that you're going to be developing material for a specific discipline, that material probably will not come from only that one discipline. You're probably going to be pulling from a bunch of different disciplines, and certainly the reading list at the end of the syllabus and the video list reflect many different disciplines related to sustainability. I'm starting off with the idea that we're going to be at a baseline all concerned with three pillars of sustainability. This is a very common way to discuss sustainability, the three pillars, and that is people, planet, and profit, or the environment, the social, and the economic. There are other ways to say it, but I think that's a baseline for us to start. So I'm going to be asking you in your assignments to deal with two, or in the final analysis, all three areas of sustainability with regard to your discipline, with regard to your final definition and your research project. I also have objectives for the course. There are four major objectives. I'll read them here. Research and develop a definition of sustainability that you could use in your academic and work and life. Explore a sample of important sustainability literature and media. I'm providing that at the bottom of the syllabus. Become connected with some aspect of sustainability activism around Metro Louisville. You will have to go out into the world and make an informal video, and some of your research can come from activities that you do out in the world as well. If you have questions, just reach out and ask me. Email me anytime, text me anytime. Develop a research project that deeply connects sustainability with your own discipline. So I assume that everyone's projects are going to be relatively personal in that regard, even though you need not make it personal per se. But I do expect that you'll be working with something that interests you in particular, not something generic. There are no required texts for the course, but you will have to review a book which is outside the course. You'll have to review another book which is inside the course, but I've provided that in the media list at the end of the syllabus. There's other reading, and there are lots of TED Talks and websites to review and others, and a lot of that's going to come through in your assignments. You won't have, I expect that you're going to review all of the material that I provide for you for the course, but I don't expect that you'll use all of it in your work. And I also expect that you'll supplement the material that I provide for you with some other sources of your own interest or that you have located on your own. Attendance policy. The class meets online. Please meet my deadlines listed in the syllabus. This is a summer course, so the class is relatively short. If you can't meet a deadline, just reach out to me and tell me. Just ask me for an extension, ask me for some advice about how to meet the deadline, whatever. I've already spoken with some of you, and I don't mind working with you in your particular situations. I know everybody has a busy summer, right? Myself included. Right now I'm sitting in a hotel room in Panama City, Panama. I teach a couple of classes down here, business ethics and Introduction to Logic for the U of L Philosophy Department at a partner university down here called Quality Leadership University. If you're at U of L and you have not taken advantage of the Panama program, you should look into it. It might really fit what you're doing, and there's a lot of cool sustainability stuff down here. I don't know how much of it I'm going to bring into the course just because I'm doing some other gigs down here, and I don't have a lot of time to sort of travel around and film all the cool stuff. But if you come down here, you'll be pretty impressed with some of the situations and some of the institutions that are down here. There's a Smithsonian down here that does a lot of sustainability work. There's something called the Biomuseo, which is really, really cool and is focused on some sustainability activities. And even the Panamanian culture down here has some cool sustainability elements to it, although some of the common ones from Kentucky, that we might expect, like a consistent trash pickup, stuff like that. Sometimes it's a little sketchy down here, but I digress. If your assignments are late, you'll lose 5 points off the final grade for that assignment for every 24 hours it's late. Okay, so that's in the syllabus. Please be cognizant of that. If you don't want to lose those points, just talk to me, right? Communicate, and we can always work something out. Academic honesty. Please do your own work. I have several ways of checking your work against the internet generally and a host of print sources. If you're in graduate school, please do your own work. I mean, what's the value here if you don't do your own work? It's a learning activity, and I take that pretty seriously. Please be familiar with the relevant policies in your handbook. My policy is, if I discover academic dishonesty, the first time I fail you for the assignment, the second time I fail you for the course. If you have a disability, you can get somebody to send me paperwork, and then you can let me know how you want to adjust the course requirements to suit your particular disability, and I'm happy to work with you on that. The grading scale for the class uses Blackboard. It's the same grading scale that's on Blackboard, and I expect that you will sort of familiarize yourself with that. I do use plus and minus grades where they're appropriate. And I'll post your grades on Blackboard after I finish grading them. I'll also provide you some feedback if I feel like it's appropriate over email about your assignment. If you don't get feedback, or if you don't get enough feedback, or if you're not certain about how the grading was conducted, your evaluation, you should definitely reach out to me, and I'll be happy to clarify and elaborate upon any of those issues. I am a critical thinking scholar, among other things. I do a lot of work in sustainability, but I do a lot of work in critical thinking. And I primarily work with the critical thinking material developed by Richard Paul at the Foundation for Critical Thinking, which is a think tank in Northern California. I am a member of that think tank, a relatively junior member, as I mentioned in my personal introduction, but nonetheless, I am associated with them, and I use their work in all of my classes. So there's a link on the syllabus to some of their work. I'm most concerned that you conduct your own personal behavior and comments to me and to others in the class and others associated with the class along the line of intellectual traits. I think that those are good guidelines for students to help everyone become better learners of new material, myself included. had a lot of success with intellectual traits in my own life. And I also really recommend that you become attentive to intellectual standards: clarity, accuracy, precision, relevance, depth, breadth, fairness, logicalness, significance. These are intellectual standards, and more information can be found about them at criticalthinking.org. It's on the syllabus. I will grade according to intellectual standards: clarity, accuracy, precision for the level of the assignment. Relevance is always important. Depth, breadth, logicalness, significance, fairness. Okay, so please take those into consideration. Significance as opposed to triviality. Please don't waste your time with the trivial. Please focus on truly significant information in all of your stuff. Okay, on to the graded material. We've got 150 points in the course. I hope you're following along with your copy of the syllabus at home. 150 points in the course. The letters in parentheses are for your convenience, so that you can match them up with the letters, that you can match the letters in the graded assignments with the letters on the calendar, so you can know when things are due and exactly what I'm referring to. There is a document I expect tomorrow is Friday. I expect to get it from you tomorrow. Something about your sustainability background and goals, whatever that means to you. If you've done a bunch of sustainability-related work in your life or in your academic discipline, or perhaps in your maybe outside work, your career, something like that, then feel free to list that. If you haven't really done much and you're here to try to learn more about sustainability, that's okay too. I'd just like to know where you're at. I'd like to see a sample of your writing, just a paragraph or two, and I'd like to know a few things about you. I also would like to know any goals that you have for the class, so that maybe I can help you meet them in some way. Maybe I can think that through with you. I also am asking you for a preliminary sustainability definition. It's just a draft, and I'll give you feedback on it. And then, of course, you'll have to come up with a final sustainability definition, and criteria for that are here in the syllabus. I hope you'll check it out. There are 4 discussion board posts. Those are listed on the calendar. They all have different requirements. I hope you check those out. They're worth 10 points each, and the due dates are there as well. You'll have to create a sustainability research question that will go with your research project. The default for that project is a paper. However, you're not required to write a paper. If you come up with another suggestion that makes sense for a sustainability project, I'm often interested in projects that people will do that with regard to building things, for example, or creating something in the real world, or some alternative type of academic work from a paper. I'm real open to stuff. If you have a good idea and you can meet all the requirements for the sustainability project with that idea, then I will probably approve it. But you need to pitch that to me in assignment H, sustainability research question and preliminary bibliography. Please note that preliminary bibliography is not annotated. So I just need a list of the sources that you think are relevant for your research question and for your research at the time that you put together your sustainability research question pitch. There is an annotated bibliography. It comes a little bit later in the course. Annotations, I'm looking for a paragraph or two. They should be highly relevant to the work that you're doing. They should not be general. They should tell me that you have already looked at this material and you know in particular which parts of the material, for example, which chapters, which sections, which paragraphs are highly relevant for your work, and you're able to identify those with some precision. That's 12 relevant sources. They don't have to be from my list, but I assume a few of them will be, and I assume you'll augment them from your own work. You can also have more than 12 if that's what you're into, but that's a minimum. Yeah, I guess that's it for that. Research project I've already kind of mentioned. The research project has to explicitly include your sustainability definition. So you have to work the formal, final sustainability definition that you come up with in assignment C into your research project. Please be sure to do that. Don't leave that out. That's a major part of the grade. You also need your research project to be supported by that annotated bibliography document. So those three things should tie in together. Informal video of sustainability event. That's assignment K. That's a 5 to 7 minute video. You have to be in the video. You have to go to a sustainability related event. If you don't know where any of those are, please check out louisville.edu/sustainability and go to the events page. There are activities going on over the summer. You can go to Louisville Metro Government Sustainability page. They list events and work days and trainings and other activities that you can go participate in for free. You can film some of that. You can film yourself doing some of the work maybe at some of those things or participating in some way. And then, of course, I need your commentary. Your video needs to relate directly back to your sustainability definition in some way. So you should be thoughtful about what kind of activity you pick. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any of those questions. In terms of the calendar, class began yesterday. Maybe you already started looking at the links on the syllabus. That's probably the first thing to do. You should also make sure that by tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, that's Friday, July 7th, that you send me your sustainability background, that general assignment. Discussion board posts are typically due on Monday. We do have one on Monday, 7/10. The preliminary sustainability definition shows up on Friday. Pretty much the assignments are due Mondays and Fridays throughout the semester, except for Tuesday, August 8th, the last day of class, when your sustainability research project is due. And of course, everything needs to be submitted electronically, not necessarily through Blackboard. You should feel free to email me directly. But yeah, please go ahead and do that. Also, since most people are not in the same sections, your discussion board posts won't show up on any discussion board. So I'm not going to set up a discussion board. You won't be able to see one another's stuff. That's what I mean. So if you post it to a discussion board, only you and I will be able to see it. As a result, I don't see any reason for any of us to set up a discussion board. It's a pretty small class this summer, so if you could just email me your discussion board posts directly, that'd be great. Email them to my email address, and we can get going from there. They're pretty involved, okay? So please look over those assignments and contact me with any questions. This is a full credit course. Most of you are taking this for graduate credit. There's some work in it. But the work should be your own. It should be creative, and I expect that you'll come up with some creative stuff. All of the links are live. I checked them just the other day. There are various things. Please note that number 9 on the list is actually a playlist with 12 different sustainability TED Talks in it. None of those are duplicated elsewhere in the list. I probably ought to break them out separately for the purposes of the list, but I just haven't done that yet. So please make sure you review all 12 of those within that list. Some of them are short, some of them are normal, 15 to 20 minute TED Talks. But anyway, please look over those so you can get a sense of the kinds of things you want to look at. That's pretty much it for the course. If you have any questions, as I said a number of times, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to solve whatever problems there are. I will be back in the country when we are a third of the way through the class, and so I am happy to meet with you in person if we need to do that. My office is in Stevenson Hall on the main campus, and I could also meet you in a common area in urban planning and public affairs. I could meet you at my U of L community composting project. I'm also an advisor to the Garden Commons, which is a learning and teaching garden wrapped around the cultural center on the main campus. And you should check out some of these gardens. Sustainability has some cool gardening things going on. Many of them are thriving right now. There's a totally edible landscape behind urban planning and public affairs. All of this is managed pretty much by faculty, staff, and students on a volunteer basis, myself included. There is the Garden Commons that I mentioned. There's a learning garden adjacent to life sciences. There has been one, I think it's still going on, adjacent to the law school. So anyway, there's a lot of activities going on. Of course, our own groundskeeping team does some really good stuff on campus, and every year they're reducing their use of sort of damaging pesticides and chemicals. They're a relatively clean shop, and I'm really proud of the work that our groundskeeping group, our groundskeeping crew does around sustainable agriculture. So anyway, look around campus, look through your own life, see what you can come up with, and I am looking forward to working with you this semester. Please reach out to me with any concerns, and I'll see you soon.